sponsored by Spilt, which is caffeinated chocolate milk. It's fantastic.
With protein.
With protein. This has become new energy, but healthy energy for us here at the office.
It's a new fan favorite. Celsius out, this in. I mean, it sits in your belly a little bit more, but God.
So good.
It tastes so good.
It tastes like Yoo-Hoo.
Better than Yoo-Hoo.
Yeah, old school Yoo-Hoo on a
Yoo-Hoo.
hot summer day.
Absolutely.
Yes. Spilt.
I don't know what their slogan is.
We got to come up with one. It's our job.
It is our job.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good one for Audi before because Audi just sponsored us as well.
Spilt. After we're done with this podcast.
Okay, we'll figure it
I'll
out.
have
We'll
something.
post it. All right, so I'm just talking to everybody. I've been out of the office for quite some time with IFA, with the move. I'm probably not going to ask you about the vibes in the office. I think Zeke kind of covered that the vibes were good. They're just not the same when you don't have everybody in the office. But you and I have had several conversations over the past 6 months or so what the future of this business looks like, and how your role has ever evolved since day one.
Yeah.
And you had your first take with it, kind of growing outside of the Leap Health piece with managing Zeke on some projects. I know that you're helping Cristiano. I know you're working with all of them now at this point. But as the business has grown and the way we're evolving, I tried to say it out loud too much because we have a unbelievable up-and-comer in Dom. Dom is my succession plan. He was when he started here, and then you kind of came into my life. And I think we have much bigger ideas of where this company is going. But as we're moving into new industries, we're doing acquisitions. We're personally going under 2 LOIs for 2 recruiting companies. So the business is going to look very, very different. And my time is going to be shifting a little bit more from managing the team to focusing on client retention, client acquisition, and of course growing some of the new ancillary brands that we're acquiring. And you're going to kind of step in and take more of a leadership role, which I think you already have. It's just maybe not as much on paper. I rely on you for that. But I think it was the first time without me being in the office, you really had to take that on. So I just want to hear a little bit about what that was like, and obviously what you think the future is going to hold, because it's important.
No, absolutely. I think the first thing I would say is to piggyback off your feelings on Dom. Dom is an absolute rock star in this industry. His growth from my first day to where we are now has been unreal. Like, it's been such a pleasure to watch his growth on a daily basis. Like, it's been a lot of fun because that kid's going to do some special stuff. But I think it starts with, and I'll do one of these because you do deserve that, and I don't think you get it enough at times, is it was really easy for us to kind of just have a normal week without you guys in the office. And I say that in a way it's because of the culture that you've built, right? Like, you've built such a culture here at Leap that it's easy just to do our job because the atmosphere, the culture, and the way we go about things is we hold ourselves accountable. We hold each other accountable. It's fun. And the level of trust we all have in each other was just really easy for me to say, okay, well, Chris is out at IFA. Like, Chaz is doing Daddy World right now. Like, it was easy for me to say, all right, guys, like, listen, bad weather today. Let's work from home, check in with you. Like it was easy and I've been in those situations before in previous roles, but it was easy for me just kind of pick up with everything you've created. So it wasn't really a challenge for me, but it was fun working with individuals who I haven't really had the opportunity to do on a day-to-day, and to kind of watch some of their day-to-day, but also kind of watch and learn a little bit more about them and kind of where they could also grow within the business here in the coming years and months maybe.
So, you came in with a very different set of skills and obviously a very different vision of what your role is going to be in the company, right? Your goal was to come in here, build out the health side, which you have been doing and doing a fantastic job. A lot of these guys came in as employees, but I don't know if I say it enough of, we're still in the foundational pieces of what this business is going to be. We're still, in my mind, a startup, right? Because it's not old co, this is new co, and everyone in here are technically founding members at the end of the day. Like, you actually are a founder of Leap Health, but all those guys are what I would call founding members of Leap Brands as well, because they helped build what it is today, and it's still in its infancy. I think when we kind of look at the overall picture of how we've evolved so quickly and what we're trying to do, and what I've always said is I need everyone to have X amount of recs to work on once. I wanted them to make the money I promised them, get the fulfillment, but we're at a point now where roles are coming in ways that we never could have imagined, where we now need to do some recruiting for our company, which I will tell you, and I'm sure you feel the same way, recruiting for our company is tough. It is extremely difficult.
It is.
Like, finding the right talent with the right culture fit. Like,
Yeah.
how do you think we're going to overcome that? Because we need at least one or two on the health side. We need minimum another one on the brand side in the next couple of weeks. And that's not even counting some of these acquisitions we're looking at that are complete new verticals that we're going to need subject matter experts to kind of run those.
It's scary just because of how fast we're growing. Like, it's funny because we're doing all this business development, and all of a sudden, a week comes and it's like, hey, we need your help. We need your help. And it's like, oh gosh, we have new clients going into the weekend. Like, what the hell? But it's going to be difficult finding the right people for these roles.
Yeah.
And it is because of, seeing the outside world is probably like, well, what are they talking about? Because your culture is so cool. Like, who wouldn't want to work at Leap? But I think when you come in and realize the level of commitment it takes to be successful
100%.
here, that's the scary part for an outsider right now, right? Because it's not, all of this is cool and it's fun, and I'll probably get my butt kicked in blitz later, but it's, what am I doing tonight at 8 o'clock? What am I doing at 9 o'clock? Or, what new call are we going to take on tomorrow? What new role and responsibilities are we going to take on? Like, the way we pivot on a daily basis, like, it takes a really unique and special person to be able to pivot on the move. And we pivot a lot here because of all of our activity. So, yeah, that's a challenge. Like, we have a new project coming up where we actually have to go, like, recruit staffers, like, on the healthcare side of it. And, like, we can actually probably turn that a little bit into recruiting for here too. So I think we're going to have some really cool conversations in the upcoming weeks with a new client and what we're trying to accomplish. But finding that person who can pivot, who understands the grind and the grit, who understand and mesh with all of our personalities, who will take the 12 o'clock text message, and it's a unique person. But then that person's going to realize how special this place is and what's in store for the future.
Well, you just mentioned it, completely off topic, but have we signed off on that agreement yet? Have we heard back from?
It is coming out of legal. I'm assuming it will be in hand by no later than tomorrow. Yesterday was a holiday, so probably today.
I mean, it's fine. We have so much work going on. It's fine if there's a longer tail to get that thing going, because that's going to be a super fun project. I'm really excited about that one, which kind of builds into what we're going to be doing with our FSO. And we're teetering some ideas. We have a couple of, I don't want to call them candidates because they're not. They'll be working with us versus for us, but a couple of guys that we've identified that we think we want to build that side of the business up with, because I'm not going to be doing it. I can provide recommendations and introductions, but I know nothing about the franchising world where I can actually go and sell it legally and actually feel good about myself. But I think a little bit more about what next steps are. Again, we are outgrowing this office. We have another 2 years on the lease. I think we're going to either have to buy this building or we're going to have to make a move, which is a scary thought because we've invested so much money in here. But who do you think right now has the biggest opportunity to be Recruiter of the Year for this year? I haven't talked to those guys, but you're watching them, obviously. And we have two people that can two-peat. We have people that can be first-timers. We have some unbelievable guys out there, and they're all fighting for it. But where we stand today, who's going to win, and who do you think has the potential to beat that person?
I'm going to give you two names, and it's relatively easy for me. And I love all these guys in here, obviously. I mean, Zeke is off to a ridiculously hot start. I mean, it is, what's today, the 18th of February? It's insane what he's doing right now.
He's in the commission zone his first 2 weeks into the year.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Usually month 6, you hit commission zone.
He's having a lot of wins. And what's going to be interesting about it is when he gets punched in the face, because as we know, as we've been recruiting here as the old guys, right, for a long time, you get punched in the face in this industry. So what's it going to look like, and what's that adversity going to look like when it happens? Because it's going to happen. But I mean, he is on pace right now to not just be. He's on pace to crush it. But here's the guy, James Cristiano.
That's what I was hoping you were going to say.
Yeah, I mean, talk about work ethic and grit and grind. Like, I've never been around a young recruiter who wants it as much as him. I mean, I didn't want it as much as him when I was his age at all. There's no chance. I'd be lying if I said I did. I think as I've got older in my career, I've wanted it more because responsibilities change, families, and now everything we do is for them. We know that. But talk about a guy, I mean, he's your Cinderella story right now. He's your 16 seed in the NCAA tournament, pushing the big boy up top. And if it ends up being him, shoot, what a story.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think drives him? Because, again, he was in the second batch of our internship class who we paid zero attention to him. It was at a time where we were having a lot of, unfortunately, some issues with the leadership team. We were trying to get out of our old office, get into the new one. We were trying to put a lot of our SOPs together, so we weren't grinding as much. And, unfortunately, him and his classmate, who was one of our interns as well, if they did anything Leap-related during that 3-month period, I'd be surprised. And the fact that he reached out to us and said, hey, I want to come back there. Let me be an intern again. And we said, no, we like the ambition. Come over here as a full-time employee. But what do you think really drives him? Because you can find fun jobs, maybe not as fun as this one, but he's driving far every single day, and he's up to midnight or later, 7 days a week working, to the point where it's pissing me off because I need to relax too. But what do you think drives that kid?
That's such a good question. It's a loaded question too. I think that, and I've only known James for a short period of time, I think that he got a little bit of a taste, and I think that he's around successful people.
Yep.
And I think the people that he's around have really grasped onto him and have really taken him on and say, listen, we're gonna help you, we're gonna show you. So I think as he goes, he's starting to feel more comfortable in his abilities, not just to grind, because the grind's one thing, right? But it's then turning that grind into the ability to get the job done. And I think now that he's having small wins and he's saying like, wow, like my work that I'm putting in here, like this was probably his shot of being like, all right, I'll do this and see if it works. And if it doesn't, then I'll do something else. And now it's like, crap, like if I work really hard and I have this support, like I'm starting to see these small wins, like I could be just as good as everybody here.
100%.
So I think that that's what's happening for him right now. I think he's just a natural grinder. He's a natural just workhorse. He's got an internal drive, which is like, I think we all have internal drives. We're massively competitive. I have an ego. I think we all say we have egos, without question. My drive right now is probably more focused on doing it for my family. Like he has this internal drive right now that is inspiring. And now it's like, I've seen some wins. Now it's like, I can do what Zeke does.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can do what Subs does.
Yeah, I think it's a competitive thing, right? Like he wants to be the best person in the office. It is growing, which is awesome.
Yes.
You need an ego in this industry. I mean, there's still a little self-doubt. He'll come to me every day, doesn't think he's doing enough. He's not seeing the progress. But again, he signed a $500 million telecom client. We're not even in the telecom industry, which is really cool because we want to get diversified. We want to become recession-proof. But he comes to my office one day and said, hey, I just signed this client. I'm like, what the?
I know.
How in the world did you do that? Like, if you're doing it in franchising where we have a name or it's someone that we've worked with before in the past, I get that. That's still difficult. But to do a cold one like that, it shows that, one, we're teaching him right. Two, someone felt bad for him, which is completely fine. I tell people, use it to your advantage. You're the young guy. Just ask, hey, I need to sign my first client. I need help. I don't know what he did, and I probably should break that down a little bit. But, yeah, I'm super, super impressed with him.
Same.
And, every kid in here, I don't want to lose any of them. And I think at some point, unfortunately, it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen with the core team out there, but everyone's always going to think the grass is greener. You and I have been around a long time, so it will happen. And I will tell you, for the most part, I will welcome them back with open arms if and when that ever does. And I really hope it does not, but I guess we can't avoid it, right, as this company grows.
No, but I think the core of what we have here is a core that is going to grow this thing to a place that I don't think you probably even see it right now. I think it's scary to where it could go.
I think it's been changing quite a bit, and eyes are opening. And again, that's the one thing I told Zeke when we talked a little bit earlier was this was the first time I was able to go to a convention and completely be present and check out of the HQ. Again, I'm not saying I wasn't working at night. I wasn't saying I wasn't answering emails. I wasn't doing candidate calls, talking to clients. But it was the first time I was not worried, which is pretty cool because I've never been on a vacation with my family where I said I can shut it down. I think this year might actually be able to happen.
I hope so, because the other thing too that I think is so important, and I think it's the culture that you created. I think that we all don't want to let each other down, right?
Absolutely.
So with you guys being away and Chaz dealing with baby and me being here, like I don't want to let you guys down. We don't need Chaz stress doing diaper duty for the first time. You're going out bringing millions of clients new home. Like I don't need you stressed. Like I don't like go ahead, put it on my shoulders. We'll be okay.
But stress is okay, right? I think that's what makes us do what we do, is always carrying that little bit of a chip on our shoulder, always having that stress because we're never content, right? I think that's why we're growing so much, which, again, at some point will burn us out. But I think that's why we got to find the right people to bring in so we're prepared for it.
Yeah, we will.
Maybe we should turn Pepe into a recruiter. That kid's got a fire in his belly to do something. I don't know.
He does have a little bit of a fire. We should make him do a cold call today.
Okay. Actually, that's a really fun idea.
Yeah.
If he doesn't do it, should we fire him?
Yeah, we can find someone else to do content, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
We'll talk to Brielle first because I think it's Brielle's decision. But the kid can't figure out what he's going to eat for lunch every day. But all right, listen, this was fun. I want to do more of these. Chaz is obviously going to be out for quite some time. I know he's working. He has a lot of back-end work that he's working on right now. The website just went live yesterday.
It's awesome.
It is really, really cool. I saw some tweaks in it that him and I are going to work through, but him and Damien are absolutely crushing it there. So
killing it.
He did call me this morning, and he gave me that anxiety phone oops, turn that off. The house is on fire type of a deal. He goes,
Yeah.
all I'm thinking about is work when I'm with the baby. When I'm not with the baby, all I'm thinking about is the baby. How do I manage that? I'm like, I have zero advice to give you because I remember when Cohen was in the NICU for 10 days, I had my laptop on my lap the entire time. When Sloan was born, I worked the entire time. So I don't know what advice to give him, but to all new fathers out there, they need something.
They do need some advice. I'm pretty sure I was at that Rita's golf outing 24 hours after
Mia was born.
She came home. Not then when she was born. When she came home. When she came home. She came home.
It's a couple days.
Yeah,
okay.
Mia came home on a Sunday morning. I was at a work outing on Monday.
Yep, and you had to take an Uber home, if I recall correctly.
Might have.
All right. Again, closing sponsor, Welch's Sparkling White Grape Non-Alcoholic Juice Cocktail from Concentrate. Do you know people still drink mixers nowadays? Like straight, they didn't drink straight mixers.
The kids do, not us adults. Us adults, we've been through the ringer before.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at some of this stuff in here, but either which way, Welch's, thank you so much. You guys have been fantastic. Keep on sending it.
Yeah.
We'll mix it with what we have. They'll drink it straight. Those animals, and
Spilled, you've brought back childhood memories of Yoo-Hoo, but just with the added energy we need and 20 grams of protein.
All right. Cheers.